And today what we are going to do is actually start lying on our stomachs. So when we lie on our stomachs, it's actually called lying prone. So I want you to come and lie prone on your mat. And you're just going to have your legs a little bit apart. Now, it's up to you if you want your feet to flop out or if you want your heels to roll in. Kind of feel it out to see what's best for your lower back. And then just place one hand on top of the other. Just let your arms and shoulders relax completely. And rest your head down so that your spine is in a straight line. And then make any adjustments you need so that you feel completely relaxed, especially around the front of the hips here. You might need to sort of wiggle around a little bit. And you're just going to close your eyes. And we're going to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth here. And just let your breathing be a little bit slower and a little bit more lengthened than what you might normally do. And as you lie on your chest and on your belly, start to notice your front body expanding into the floor as you inhale. And notice how your belly and your chest soften and release with each exhale. And with your belly expanding gently into the floor, be aware that you're not forcing the abdominals out. You're not forcing that pushing into the floor. Just allow it to be a little bit of a response to how your lungs are expanding. And we're going to take just a few more breaths. And now I want you to bring your awareness to your back body. Start to notice how your ribs and your thoracic spine move as you breathe in and out. And you might notice as well that with that movement of the thoracic spine, there's almost a little bit of movement that travels down into the lumbar spine as well. So just connecting into this breath is a wonderful way to start to release your lower back as well, especially if you have any kind of tightness through that lumbar area. And we're just going to take one more deep breath in and out. And then you can open your eyes slowly. And then just bring your legs into a parallel position so you can feel your thighs and the tops of your feet connected to the ground. And then taking your hands just underneath your shoulders. You need to connect your abdominals and we're going to press up onto our hands and knees. And then set yourself up on all fours. Remember that you want your wrists in a comfortable position. Nice lengthened spine as we move into our cat stretch. Start by rounding your spine up towards the sky, pressing out of your arms and tucking your chin in. And then lengthening the spine. And if your back feels ready for it, you can start moving towards an extension, lifting tail, heart, and eye. So as you move your spine through this flexion and extension, start to connect your breathing to your movement. And And it really doesn't matter when you inhale and when you exhale. Maybe you even want to deliberately try reversing your breath just to see how it feels. Now we're going to take just one more, lengthening or extending the spine, and one last rounding of the spine. So let's all finish with this rounded cat stretch position and pause here for a moment. Tuck your toes under, stay in this rounded spine position, and see if you can push into your hands and feet, and maybe you can lift your knees off the mat. And with this rounded spine position and lifting the knees, you are loading all the joints in the body, and particularly you're going to feel that lovely connection to the abdominal muscles. And we're going to take just one more breath in, and then release. Lower the knees, release the feet, and then lengthening your spine back to neutral. Now we're going to stay here. Slide the right leg out long, but keep your toes on the floor. Square your pelvis, and now walk the left fingertips forward. Stay here, level up the shoulders, and on your next breath, pick up the arm and leg and hold. Finding the connection from the left fingertips to the right toes. Finding the connection of the right hand pushing onto the floor, left shin pushing onto the floor, and keeping the connection across your midsection in the abdominals. Bring your hand and knee back in, and just take a moment to say to yourself, left leg, stretch it back, stay here for a moment. Start to walk the right fingertips forward. Double check your alignment, and then pick up your arm and leg. Double check that you haven't collapsed into the lower back. Keep the lower abs connected, shoulders away from the ears, feeling the connections between each hand and the opposite leg. Taking one more breath, and then bringing the hand and the knee all the way back, and stay here for a moment. Reach the right arm out to the side, coming into your thread the needle, placing neck, placing shoulder, and then sliding the left arm forward if your neck allows for it. At any point, if you feel that you can't really breathe, then maybe you just need to ease off slightly. Notice where it's registering on your body today. Bringing that left hand in, up you come, reaching the right arm all the way out, and then placing that hand down. Left arm reaches, coming into a thread the needle, and then sliding that right hand forward. Staying here for just a few moments. Notice how it feels on this side today. Is there a difference between your two sides? Bring the right hand back in, press up, reach the left arm all the way out, and come back onto all fours. I'm going to give you a little challenge today. Slide the left leg back and stay here. Now normally we will do the opposite arm, not now. You balance on your right hand and just walk the left hand forward. So now you've got both the left hand and the left foot. Balance and see if you can pick up the arm and the leg. Little bit of a challenge. Keep your mental focus. Keep reaching through the crown of your head. And then bringing the hand and the knee all the way back in. Nicely done. Let's check out the other side. So extend your right leg back. Now you're going to balance on the left hand and the left shin. Walk the right fingertips forward. And then when you're ready, pick up arm and leg, and balance. Woo, keep breathing, core connection, and bringing the hand and the knee all the way back in. Open your knees wide, big toes touch, sit back, and then bring your head down. And today I want you to actually stretch your arms forward as much as you can. So maybe you're actually able to straighten the elbows. Don't force it. And maybe you need to take the hands a bit wider if your neck feels like it's really tense. Just taking 3 breaths in and out here. Just allow your pelvis to sink a little deeper with each breath out. Soften and release around the sacrum and around your lower back. Spread your fingers out and then draw yourself up onto all fours. So once again, set yourself up, 4-point position. You're going to tuck your toes under. We're going to be going into a downward facing dog. So I want you to first of all just hover your knees off the ground so you find your weight bearing. Move your hips back, lift your hips up. Now keep your knees quite bent and just start to pedal the heels down one at a time so you're getting that lovely release at the back of the leg and the calf muscles. And then push both heels towards the mat. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Lower your knees all the way down. Release your feet back, and step your hands a little bit closer towards your knees. We're going to go into our downward facing dog again, but we're shortening the base here. Tuck your toes under. Hover your knees just up. Hold it there. Find your weight on your hands and feet. Move your hips back. Stay your hips up and keep your knees super duper bent. And once again, just pedal the heels down. And just notice how the shorter base here might mean you can't straighten your spine completely, but you might be able to put your heels down whereas before you couldn't. So it just changes how we connect into our body here. Press both heels down, take a breath in, relax the back of your neck, and then lower your knees all the way down, release your feet out. Now bring your hands right in front of your knees. Don't worry, we're not going downward facing dog from here. I want you to tuck your toes under, and now all you're going to do is push onto your hands and roll back over your feet. So we're in a little crouch position, relaxing into the back of your neck, and then roll onto your knees again, and just see if you can get maybe a little bit of a stretch into the soles of the feet. And again, push into your hands, roll back, let the back of your neck go, and roll onto your knees. And we're going to take just one more time. Roll back, stay there. Now bring your hands just in front of your feet, go onto the tips of your fingers, and then push into your fingertips and lift your hips up. See if you can get your feet connected completely. Relax the back of your neck, and then once again, straighten one knee as you bend the other, and then straighten the other knee, just like we did when we were in our downward facing dog position. Just gently walking out the feet, the knees. And then see if you can straighten both knees. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Again, it doesn't matter. Relaxing into the back of your neck. And then bend the knees. Once again, come down into your crouch. Walking your hands all the way forward as you return to all fours. Stay here. You're going to take your right leg, extend it out long. Pick up your right leg, hold it here, and now you're going to step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. We've done this one before. send the leg back again. So you need to be able to keep your abdominal muscles connected to support your lower back. You also need to be able to engage, to work the hip flexor muscle at the front of the hip in order to step your foot forward. So it's very functional. One more time. Step forward, hold it there. Now put your right hand on top of your right knee and then go toe heel so that you bring your foot more or less in line with your right hip. Press yourself up onto all fours and we reach the left hand all the way up. Stay here, abdominal muscles are connected. Feel free to adjust your body weight forwards or backwards if you need, so you can open up that hip. And now bring the right hand up. Hold it here, double check that you have balance. And now both arms come down. And both arms come up. Connect your breath to your movement. Both arms down. Both arms up. One more time. Both arms down. Both arms up. Hold it here. Look up towards the sky. Almost looking past your fingertips. And if it's available to you, you could even start to lift your heart up and just feel that gentle extension of the spine. Keep lifting up through the front of your body. Taking one more breath in. And then release your gaze. Put your right hand to your knee. And put your left hand down on the floor just beside that right leg. And now just guide yourself into a little bit of a twist looking over that right shoulder. And then if you can, reach your right hand all the way up. So we're coming into a gentle twist of the spine. On your next breath, bringing that right hand down, put both hands to the inside of the right foot, and then toe heel your foot to the outside of the mat again. Separate your hands, stretch that right leg all the way back. Now stay here for a moment. Flex the foot, pushing energy through your heel. Square your pelvis, square your shoulders, energy through your crown. Wakey, wakey, bum cheeks on the right side. Point your toe and bring the knee all the way in. Ready for the left leg. Extend the left leg back. Lift the left leg up. And then start stepping your foot to the outside of that left hand and send it back. Be conscious of your abdominals working to support your lower spine. Be conscious of the hip flexor, your iliopsoas, working as you step your foot forward. One more time. Step, now stay there. Left hand comes up onto the knee. Toe heel, walk your foot onto the mat. Find your focus, balance, and bring the right hand all the way up. Remember, abs connected, heart open, eye line focused. Make any adjustments you need. And then left hand reaches up to join. Stay here for a moment. And now both hands come down. And both hands come up. Use your breath to move your arms through space. One more time, reach up, and then you have a choice here. You can stay, or perhaps you want to come into a very gentle opening of the chest, opening of the heart, lifting eye line. Such a gentle back extension. Release your gaze forward, left hand to knee, right hand onto the floor beside your foot. Lengthen your spine and just guide yourself into a little bit of a twist, nothing crazy. And then start reaching the left hand up. So there's an equal and opposite pull between the right and left hands. And that movement is actually coming from the center of your chest, from your heart space. Take a breath in. And then release down, put both hands to the inside of that foot. And then heel toe your way out again. Separate your hands. And then stretch that left leg all the way back. Now we're going to stay here. Flex your foot. There's energy through your heel, energy through your crown. Finding that beautiful stability and the balance between the front and the back of your body. Point your toe, bring your knee in. Once again, open your knees wide, big toes touch. Settle yourself back. And then bring yourself down into your resting position. And again, straighten your arms as much as you can. And if you would like to intensify the opening along the front of the shoulder, you could even push up onto the tips of all 10 fingers. And just taking all the weight and the pressure off the wrists and just feel that opening along the arm line. Nice easy breath in and out. And then let your hands come all the way down. Spread your fingers wide and then draw yourself up onto all fours. Hands placed below shoulders, knees placed below hips. And we're going to be going into a little bit of a side bend series. I'll talk you through it. Tuck your toes under. Some of you have done this with me before. You're going to push onto your hands and feet and just hover your knees up off the ground, just a little hover. Move your right hand to the center of the mat under your nose, and then start twisting feet, knees, pelvis, so you're facing towards the side, and when you can balance, you pick up that left arm. So you're now using the underside of your body. If it's too much on your shoulders, I know some of us struggle, then just come all the way down. Now when you're ready, place your knees, place your hips, and just allow yourself to settle here. Make any adjustments you need. Take your free hand, place it underneath the ribs. Keep this elbow nice and straight, the right elbow. And just let your shoulder come up to your ear. And then press away from your hand and feel how you create that space. And again, glide the shoulders. So guys, it's not a jarring action. Don't drop into it. One of the 6 principles of Pilates is control. So it's always a controlled movement, never a collapsing. So as you elevate the scapula, you're here. And then when you press away from your arm, can you feel that there's a muscle that connects underneath your armature? That's called the serratus anterior. So it's one of the muscles that actually moves the scapula on your ribcage at the back. And now press away and hold it here. You go to salute. Keep that stability. And now bend the right elbow without letting the shoulder hunch up again. And press away. So you're keeping the space between the shoulder and your ear. Little tricep dips. It doesn't have to be big. It has to be focused. And we're going to take just a few more. And press. One more. And press. Hold it. And now taking your left hand to your left ankle, and you're just going to split the legs so you can come into your mermaid seat. And let's just go into a little bit of seating. Up and over. Lateral flexion of the spine. And bring your awareness today to all the muscles that hold your ribs. On the outside and on the inside. Feel how they are getting a beautiful stretch and connection. And then bring your awareness to your lungs and your heart. And feel how they are getting a beautiful release. You're creating space for them. Last one. Coming all the way upright. Just let your hands rest on your knees. Now take your left leg. I'm not mirror image to you today. So take your left leg, stretching it all the way out. You can bring that right foot a little closer. Make sure that you're flexing here. And you're going to reach all the way up. And then bring both hands down on the floor. Now, you might just be on your fingertips and you stay there, that's fine. It's about keeping your chest open and your spine lengthened. Maybe you can put your hands down. Maybe you can come down towards your forearms, but you don't want to collapse in on yourself. And then we're just going to take 3 breaths in and out here. So feel free to close your eyes. Just notice the connection of your right and your left sits bones to the ground. Notice the space that you're creating between each vertebra. And we're going to do one more time. Maybe you can release a little further. And then if your eyes are closed, you can open them, sit upright. Help yourself now to stretch that right leg all the way out. And now we're going to put our hands behind our backs. Lift yourself up nice and tall. And you can stay here. If this feels like nice support for you, you stay. Otherwise, you can bring both hands in front. Or you can start to walk yourself forward. So don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what the shape of my body is doing. Just allow yourself to feel it out. And one thing you do want to monitor is that your toes are pointing towards the sky, and so are your knees. You don't want anything collapsing in here. Get that opening along the hips. And we're going to take one more breath in. And then exhale, releasing all the way back up. And now you're going to bend your knee in. You're going to bring yourself all the way to sit now with your left hand on the ground. Squeeze the inner thighs and then lift up, balance, look to the ground, and then bring yourself all the way around to the other side and lower the knees all the way down. Relax the feet out for a moment. So stay here. We're about to do the whole set on the other side. So tuck toes under. On your breath, hover your knees just up. Move your left hand underneath. Twisting feet, knees, pelvis, and when you can balance, you pick up the right arm. And remember, if this is hurting your shoulder, maybe come down into your forearm. That's absolutely fine. And then lower the knees, your hips with control. Make any adjustments you need. And now your right hand goes under your ribcage. Keep the left elbow straight. Let your shoulder glide. And then press away. And again, gentle release, and press away. So finding the connection to serratus, finding the placement of your scapula, and then press up and hold it here. Take your right hand, do a little salute. And now let's go into those little tricep dips. Guys, remember that this does not have to be a big movement. And also, if your elbow doesn't like a certain angle, then maybe try moving your hand, maybe direct your elbow slightly differently so that it works for you. We just want to keep the scapula glued to our backs. Let's take 2 more. And we're going to take 1 more. Press up and hold. Right hand holds your ankle. You separate the knees and the feet, and you come into your mermaid seat. And let's go into our seat. Feeling the muscles around your ribs. Bring awareness to your lungs and your heart. One more time. Come all the way upright. And now, help yourself as you slide that right leg up. I'm just going to come a little more center on the mat so you guys can see me. Reaching all the way up. And then bringing your fingertips to the ground, or you can start to walk yourself forward. So this is called the half dragonfly. Lengthening through the spine, feel free to close your eyes. And it's really about finding balance through the pelvis. Feeling equal weight on each sit bone. Lengthening through your spine. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them. Slowly walk yourself all the way back up. Now unfold the left leg so we go back into that straddle, or we can call this the full dragonfly. Start with your hands behind your back for support. You can stay, or hands come forward. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. And again, as we stay here and breathe, you might very well notice that your body starts to relax a little bit more, so you don't even have to force it. Your breathing is actually going to help you go deeper into any of these stretches and releases. And then when you're ready, walking your hands all the way back up, and you're going to help yourself bend your knees. I'm going to turn sideways because I've pivoted on the mat. And you're going to come down the mat so that your toes are near the front edge, knees bent, and reach your arms out in front of you. We're going to do one roll all the way onto the ground. Use your abdominals to help control the movement. Use your hands on the back of your thighs if you need a little bit of assistance. Releasing all the way back. Just make your arms relax down beside you and lying all the way flat. All right, so from here, you can bring your feet a little bit closer in towards your pelvis, or you can wheel your hips down slightly. And today, instead of doing a pelvic curl, we're going to do what is called a pelvic press. There is no rolling action of the spine. So we're going to take a breath in, and then on your breath out, simply push onto your arms and feet and hinge your pelvis up. So you're in the same ending position, but we got there in a different way. Take a little breath, and then hinge your pelvis down. So it's almost like a braking action at the hip, and your spine stays stable. Let's do that again. Use your breath, hinging up. Stay for a moment. There shouldn't be any strain in the lower back, guys. And then hinge your pelvis down. Stay for a moment. And again, pressing pelvis up. Can you feel that the work immediately goes to the bum cheeks? Take a breath in. And hinging down. Last one. Pressing your pelvis up. Hold it there. Bring both hands off the mat, and once you have your balance, bring your hands up towards the sky. Turn the palms of your hands to face each other. Now see if you can keep your pelvis still as we do arm scissors here in our bridge position. So you might find that it's a lot of work in the back of the legs. If you feel like your hamstrings are trying to take over, then maybe you need to bring your pelvis down a bit, or maybe you just almost need to push your feet a little bit away from you. And that action of pushing the feet away is going to help switch off the hamstrings. Last one. Bring both hands up. Keep the arms lifted. And now roll down through the spine. So now we're getting that lovely articulation and release at the bottom. Now, interlock your fingers. Place your hands underneath your head. And if you need to do a little bit of lengthening of the spine, go for it. You want your elbows floating. Stabilize your pelvis where your lower back feels good. And let's go into a chest lift. Nod your chin. Breathe out as you curl forward. Guys, we're not staying here today. We're inhaling to go back down again. So we're picking up the pace a little bit. Breathe out. Slide the ribs forward. And inhale back. As you come forward, remember the feeling of flattening the abdominal wall. So you've got your deep core muscles working with those more superficial muscles, those six-pack muscles. Let's take a few more. So we've picked up the pace a little bit today, and we're doing a few extra repetitions. Last two. Last one. And releasing all the way back. Just bring your hands out, resting your hands onto the front of your pelvic bones. And again, make any adjustments you need to your pelvic position so that your lower back feels good. But once you've found that place, then I'm going to ask you to stabilize. Okay? I want you to bring one knee up to tabletop. Now you need to stabilize and then bring the other knee up to join. So this is open chain, remember? Now you don't have either foot on the ground. Squeeze your knees and feet together. And I want you to take your hands and place them at the front of your thighs. So the hands are just pointing towards each other. Right hand on the right leg, left hand on the left leg. Keep your head down. I want you to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, create some resistance between your hands and your legs. So it's almost like your hands are pushing away, but your knees are pulling in. Nothing is moving, but what you're doing is switching on the hip flexors and the deep abdominals, and then relax. Take another breath. Exhale, create resistance. And just notice on your own body if your lower back is okay. If it's not okay, why don't you bring your knees a little closer to protect your back? And release. We're going to do two more. Breathe out as you create some resistance. And release. One more time. Create some resistance. And anybody who's watching us do this is going to think nothing's happening. But can you feel all those deep muscles connecting? And release. Hug both knees in towards your chest. And maybe do a little bit of a rocking action from side to side. And now, I just want you to stay in the center and cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Hands on top of the knees. And then just slide your hands down towards your ankles if you can. Don't force it. And you should be getting a stretch into that right piriformis. You guys know I love this one. So let's just stay here for a few more seconds. And then release, unwind, and switch over so that you've got your left thigh on top. So hands sliding down towards the ankles. This time getting a stretch into the left hip. And again, it's just always interesting to observe your own body and notice how it feels on each side. Like I almost feel on this left side, like I need to let go of my one ankle and then deepen the twist with both my hands on the left shin and on the left ankle. So, don't think you've got to stay in a particular position. Play around with it and see what works. And then on your next breath, release, uncross, and hug both knees towards your chest. Now we're going to do something quite challenging. It's called a roll-up. So place your feet onto the ground, stretch your legs all the way out long. I'm just moving back a little bit so I'm staying in the camera. And I want you to squeeze your legs together. Now you can point the toes or you can flex. You choose, but no floppy feet allowed, no spaghetti legs. You need energy through your legs. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling. And then how far back can you take your arms without letting your ribs pop? So find your starting position, and we're going to roll up into sitting from here. When you're ready, lift your arms, lift your head and look forward. Breathe. There's the abdominal connections. Nice and controlled. And I want you to stay here for a moment so your nose is above your lap. Your back is in a soft, rounded shape. Take a breath in, and then we're going to see if we can reverse it. So you still need to control the movement on the way down. Gravity is pulling you. You have to resist with those abs, and then reach the arms all the way back. Nicely done, guys. Give yourself support under your lower back if you need, yeah? Inhale, arms and head come forward. Exhale, curl up. Keeping your arms horizontal to the ground. Make sure you can see your profile above your arm. Don't hide your face. Take a breath. And exhale, down you go. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Gently tighten your bum cheeks. It helps to anchor the pelvis. And then the arms reach all the way back. Let's do one more time. Inhale, lifting arms. Lifting head. Breathe. Stay here. Nose above lap. Take a breath in. Roll up into a seated spine position and let your arms relax down. So you're just going to bend your knees a little bit, separate your legs, bend your elbows beside you, and we're going to walk backwards on our mats. So this is just getting your brain to connect walking movements, and I'll come forward. Walking movements actually come from the lumbar spine and the hip flexor. Yes, of course the legs are working, but this is the powerhouse, this is the engine. Come all the way forward. And when you reach the front of the mat, you stop, and then you go back again. This is called a nappy race. And then just come back to about the middle of your mat, and you can stop right there. So separate your legs to the width of the mat. So my hamstrings are flexible enough that I can straighten my knees, but feel free to bend your knees if it feels better. If you're sitting like this with your lower back collapsed, then you either need to sit on a pillow to get out of your hips, or you need to bend the knees or both. Okay, so do that for yourself. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to review our spine stretch. Put your hands to the outsides of your legs, the elbows are straight. Inhale to lengthen your spine up an imaginary wall. On your breath out, peel your head forward, peel your upper back forward, middle back, lower back, and allow the pelvis to do a little tilt to the end. Stay here for a moment, take a breath in, and breathe out as you roll back up, unraveling your spine, and lifting all the way up and straight. We're going to add on now. Take a breath in. Exhale, peeling away from that wall. See if you can articulate through the spine. Make sure there's no strain in your lower back. Keep the abdominals connected. Now stay here. Put your hands onto the front of your ankles or your shin, wherever you may be. And then just lift your eye line up so you're looking forward past your mat. And now lengthen your thoracic spine so your shoulders are away from the ears and your heart is lifted. And then lengthen your tailbone out behind you. So if you can imagine that you're a peacock and you're going to display your tail feathers. So you're going to lengthen up, display your tail feathers, take a little breath, and then allow your back to curve forward again. Release your hands, put them beside your legs, and then come back up to where we started, where we're sitting up against the wall. Good, we're going to do that again. Take a breath in. Exhale, peeling forward, away from the wall. Rounding through the spine. Stay here. Hands hold on to the front of your legs. Lift eyeline. Lift chest. Lengthen all the way along the spine, and now hold it here. Keep your left hand holding onto your ankle, and see if you can just bring the right hand forward and hold it just above your second toe. Lengthen your spine. Can you let go of the left hand and bring it forward? And now, can you lengthen your spine and start to bring your arms up? And it doesn't matter how high you bring the arms. As soon as you feel that you're straining or hurting, or you can't go any further, that's where you stop. But maybe you can frame your ears. Take a breath, and then round over. Hands go just beside your ankles, and then roll up into a sitting position, and lifting tall. Nicely done. Bend your knees and come forward towards the front edge of your mat. And we're going to practice rolling up the ball. But we're going to take our time getting into it. Put your hands behind your thighs. Just lean back a little bit so you're shifting your body weight so that when you pick up your feet, you can actually balance here. And I just want you to stay here for a moment. So you're in a lovely rounded spine position, which is quite a nice release after we just did that back extension. Now, it's very important that you don't hit your neck or your head on the floor. So you're only going to roll onto the shoulder blades, no further than that. Start to roll onto your shoulders. Use your feet to help you come back up in balance. Keep your chin in, so you're looking at your own belly button the whole time. Look at your navel. And then, once you've done this a few times, see if you can now eliminate that kicking action of the legs when you come up. See if you can keep your feet nice and tight. Roll back, keeping that ball shape as you roll. Last one. And balance. Very nicely done. And placing your feet all the way down. I want you to roll onto your left side and just cradle the back of your neck. Walk your knees up a little bit as if you're going to be sitting in a chair so that your abs are connected and your lower back feels nice and easy. And today we're going to do a variation of that thoracic rotation that we do with the chalk circle. So your right hand's going to be out in front. And if you took a piece of chalk and you're going to trace a circle around yourself, start to bring your hand up overhead. And as your arm travels over your ear, let the weight of your shoulders and your ribs roll back. So you draw a big circle around yourself. And then your arm comes over your knee again and to the front. And let's do two more. Take your time. And remember, guys, you do not have to keep the hips and the knees exactly still. I allow mine to move because if I don't, I feel almost like my back might spasm a little bit. It doesn't like that rigidity. And when you finish that one, then change direction and go the other way. So you can go over your hip, go a big circle up the other way. And one more time. Keep your head as easy as possible and just allowing your body to move with your arm. And then when you have finished, stop, roll onto your stomach, and just put one hand on top of the other. Let your legs relax out. Just rock your pelvis a little bit from side to side. And then just settle in the center and we take 3 breaths in and out, just like when we started class today. And then turn to lie on your right side. So guys, I'm going to have my back to you now so you can see what this looks like from the back. Knees are going to be bent up, sitting in a chair, cradling the back of your neck. Left hand comes forward. And we're going to do chalk circles. Start by tracing your hand overhead. Big circle around behind you. And it doesn't matter if your arm touches the floor or not. You know, we're all going to have different mobility through the shoulders and through the thoracic spine. Just keep breathing. Fluid, easy movements. And again, by this third one, you might actually notice that things are starting to release a little bit. And bringing that arm all the way to the front. And now change direction and let's do 3 circles the other way. Last one. And all the way to the front. And once again, turn to lie on your stomach. And what I'd like you to do, just a slight variation, is put your other hand underneath. So you've switched hands that is normally on top. And then just rock your pelvis gently from side to side. And then let your pelvis settle, let your legs flop, however feels good for you. And let's finish with the same connection to the breath that we started with. So let your breathing slow down. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through your mouth. Notice the movement of your ribs and your belly into the floor underneath you. Notice the movement at the back of your body around your ribs and your lower spine. And then just taking one more deep breath in and out. And bringing your legs into parallel, connecting the front of your thighs, connecting the front of your feet, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, firming into the abdominals as you push up onto your knees. Bringing yourself onto all fours. And just a little transition into standing, tucking toes under, hovering your knees just up, moving your body weight back, sending the hips up, and once again, pressing one heel at a time towards the floor. Press both heels towards the ground. And then soften your knees and walk your feet halfway up the mat. And then walk your hands back, going onto the tips of your fingers until you can get your feet fully connected to the ground. And then just let yourself hang there for a moment. Take one hand and hold the opposite elbow. Other hand, hold the opposite elbow. And just let your arms frame your head. Add a little bit of weight to the stretch. And if you're feeling ready for it, you might even want to strengthen your legs because it increases that tensioning along the hamstring and the calves. And then release your arms. Take your time as you roll up into standing. Feel free to bend your knees, abdominals connected. Coming all the way upright, connecting into the back line of your body. And then roll the shoulders back and around a few times. Giving everything a little bit of a shake. Beautiful job, you guys. Let me just check if anybody has any questions, how you're feeling.